I, that familiar with. I mean, I've been there a couple of times, but I know a whole lot of people here, and I'm happy to facilitate introducing one another and kind of mingling. So thank you so much for having our family here, and thank y'all for, reinitiating the book for Marion, and we all have very close connections with Marion in very different ways, and he was like an uncle to me, and he was like a grandfather to Scout, and I loved him very much.
Scout on video now. Tell me who you are again.
Scout Allenbach.
Okay, that's enough.
And I'm Brent Allenbach. I married a caver. See, I haven't been to Ellison's all that many times, but my two probably big connections are that I helped out with the Memorial Day rescue that's kind of famous, and I interviewed Della about her finding of fantastic pit for the GSS Bulletin a few years ago.
I'm Jim Wilbanks, and my connection was Richard called me up and said, save the date. Tennessee had a teachers meeting every second Friday in October, and he said, save the date. Why? Save the date. You'll be glad you did. And that's how that began.
I'm Bill Steele, and I drove over from Texas yesterday mostly. I live in Irving, Texas, next door to Dallas. And my connection to Ellison's is that I was quite fortunate to have been in on the first trip through Lower Cave with Richard and Della a week or two after they had camped in there in March of '69, I believe.
Did it still stink?
I know your stove had broken on the first day, and you guys ate cold food. I heard about that.
Yeah.
And then I was on the first ascent of Incredible in May of '69, and then I was on the first crossover.
The crossover
through trip, and it was there at Ellison's where I heard about this cave in Mexico, which I still am involved with, and it's the deepest one in the Americas. And Richard had been there in '68, and then that crossover trip was with Canadians that he was with when they went there. So I aspired to go there, and a big part of my life has been centered on that.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen Della in over 50 years. I don't know.
53 years since I left CAG.
Thanks, Bill.
Okay, I have no connection with caving. I am his partner. I have admired cavers for a long time. Living on Lookout Mountain, I knew Jim Yeomans and Kathy, and I admired them greatly. And I knew a good bit about Jim Yeomans and what he had done. And so when I met Jim, I heard about you guys, and it's just an amazing thing to me, what you've done, what you did, or some of you still do with caving.
I'm Della McGuffin Breidenberg, and I discovered Fantastic Pit.
Woohoo! Hey, we all say thank you very much.
And I've heard that before. The only reason it was, right time, right place, and right size. Because Richard, I went through the keyhole much faster than he did. And I think I've proofed it Fantastic 25 times.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. Used to take me 35 minutes to get up that pit.
We can make it 26 tomorrow.
No way. My husband made me promise I would not do a pit. But I'm so pleased to be here to see all these folks I haven't seen in 53 years.
Wow.
And you mapped most of the cave. You and Richard.
A great deal of it, yes.
I'm Jeff Harris, and about 5 years ago, I'd only gone to Ellison's on tourist trips, just balancing the pits. And about 5 years ago at the GSS meeting, I stood up and I said, hey, somebody needs to take on the project of producing the complete map of Ellison's. Wow. And I look around the room, and there was no hands up. And so I'm like, okay, well, if nobody else is going to do it, maybe I'll do it. So I've spent the last 5 years putting together the complete map of Ellison's, which came out about 2 weeks ago. So.
Yay!
song.
Are there copies available here?
I want one.
Okay.
I'm Renee Harris, and I'm a tag-along, sort of. I cave a little bit. I started out with Jeff caving, and Sydney's cave was my first cave. I came out all muddy.
That was our first date.
Our first, well, about our second date.
Second date.
I came out all dirty, and Jeff said, if you'll do that, you'll do. So the rest was history. So I just kind of tag along with him.
Right, I was always gonna put my computer right here and then someone else.
I'm Steve Richard. I got exactly the same message as Jim did, probably the same evening. I was up in North Carolina. I saved the date. Really happy it did.
Oh man, that was faster than I thought. I'm Ryan Marr. I've been doing caving now for about 10 years, and I'm not usually much of an anniversary person, but that 10 years was about 5 days ago. And I'm a photographer. My connection with Ellison's is that I went in on a last-minute trip to photograph. The goal was very lofty. We were going to go photograph Incredible on one day, Fantastic the next, and Surprise the next day. I went to Incredible, photographed it, got my ass kicked, and didn't do the other two. So I went back a couple of times, and I think at this point what I'm doing is I'm working to set the record for the number of times somebody can go to the top of Fantastic and not go down the pit. Because I'm working on it. I think it's been like 4 or 5 times now. Well, one time I didn't go down to warm up, but anyways, I did take one picture looking down Fantastic. I was never really, I was never really happy with it. I certainly wasn't satisfied, and it always kind of ate at me. And when Mike started working on the new book, he asked Mike Taylor if Mike Taylor wanted to work on it. Mike Taylor said, no, but I have somebody in mind that, might be interested for you. And Mike reaches out to me, and the only thing, I get an email, and it says, subject line says, would you like a shot at redemption? What is this? And I open up the email, and the first thing I see is my picture looking down Fantastic, and the caption says, you're right, this is a shitty picture. You should do it again. And so, in a roundabout way, I've made my way back here. I consider myself to be fortunate to be one of the relatively few cavers of my generation that are not from Tag that got a lot of experience with Marion. I spent holidays with him one Thanksgiving. We dug open some pit and next to his house that he somehow never found. And he took me several miles into Blue Spring and then got bored with what we were doing and left me. He was the only one who knew how to get out of the cave, and he left me with a bunch of people that also didn't know. Yes, yeah. And then he realized that his car keys were locked in our car, so he couldn't actually leave. So we found him asleep at the entrance of the cave. And so when Mike said, do you want to do this book, it's going to kind of honor Marion, I thought, well, that old bastard left me in a cave, so sure, why not? Let's do it. And here I am.
All right, I'm Jacob Lieber. I go by Jake. Similar to Ryan, I've been caving about 10 years. Let's say tag caver through and through, but I get up to VAR, Kentucky when I can. My connection to Ellison's would be just going to college in Atlanta and starting to go to the cave, doing all the pits, just from a sport training perspective. That trip Ryan talked about doing Incredible, that was kind of the start of Ryan and I's friendship. He came down here, wanted to photograph the pit, and I'm like, well, I do the pit all the time, it's pretty easy, but how hard can photographing it be? We got some pretty good results, it worked out, but yeah, so I'm really here I'm here to contribute to this project, really to help Ryan out to do this work. We work well together underground doing cave photography, but also just the historical significance and having everybody here who was part of the cave. I also had a few experiences with Marianne, part of this younger generation who was still here and is still here for the older generation to a certain extent. My first time down Stupendous Pit in Rumbling Falls was with Marianne. I didn't realize how privileged that was at the time, but now I do see that, and I want to have more of those experiences and contribute to this project because I think it's worthwhile doing. It's worth it. We're gonna have some good results, and to meet all the people who are involved and produce something from that's just awesome. So, yeah.
Thanks, Jake.
Alan Paget. At the time, I was kind of the
the younger guy in the group. I didn't get the call about save a date because I was the new guy.
You were a kid.
I was the kid, yeah. And so I did get, hey, you want to help survey in that first kind of survey trip in the new year in January? And sure, yeah, I can survey. That sounds like fun. And, well, then I found out like he borrowed some wetsuits and we were going to go downstream from the stream junction and survey. And the wetsuits didn't fit, and we went and kind of damn near died. And that was an epic trip. And then I had been surveying with Richard and Della in Ingle Double and all these other places, and we got into Ellison's and then got into Petty John's and 40 million other projects, and I actually went to Mexico caving with Marion, and it kind of like Bill, it led to a lifetime. And actually in my career Ellison's cave was my office for like over 10 years. I could be at work in the cave, and it was special, and so I survived.
I'm Karen Paget, and I'm a little bit of a tag along as well because I was a little too young at the time to get the call or any of that stuff. I wasn't in that original group. So, but I do have a big connection with Ellison's because obviously, you know, it was the thing. And so I helped with dye tracing and mapping and all that fun stuff, and, you know, did all the trips and the, you know, through trips and all that. So
Rescues.
And rescues as well. So yeah, it's a special place for sure.
I'm Ron Acock. I started caving in January of '66 with this lovely lady. I met Jim and Steve soon afterwards, and for years we caved together pretty hard. Then the call came, and so I was in the cave with a lot of folks. Caved and partied with just everybody. These guys drifted into my life, and it's been great. It's been great over the years. I haven't caved so much in the last 15 or 20. Occasionally get in one because I enjoy it and it's fun, but not anymore. But tomorrow may be a little different. I may get my head inside. But it's been fun, and it's great.
I'm Diane Cousineau, and I've known Marion Smith since I was 19 years old. And like Jim, I too got the Save the Day call with zero information, and I swore to tell nobody about even saving the date for anything. And it was worthwhile, wasn't it?
You had seafood duo, right? I had some sort of a fettuccine alfredo. Did you want the salad with it?
Percent.
Does it come with the salad? Yes. Okay, then I will have the shrimp fettuccine. Yes.
I would like to present you with the copy of the complete Ellison's map.
Thank you. I don't know how I'm gonna get it home.
I can manage.
Thank you.
I just need to get your address.
Oh, I can do that. We can do that.